Domestication of chickens dates back to 2000 BC, and their ancestry can be traced back to 4 species of wild jungle fowl in Southeast Asia. Almost 4,000 years later, the deep litter system was first used by the Ohio Station brooder house. Before deep litter, shavings were actually used, but now they used to be changed every 1 to 2 weeks, just to prevent it from being damp. And to avoid, coccidia in chickens. Before we go any further, I've actually been joined by 2 young gentlemen here. They will introduce themselves. Wacha niwapatie microphone, they introduce themselves. What is your name?
Son Malanga Baraza.
You're in which school?
PP2 Nyat.
PP2 is not the school, that is your class. What is your school?
Stepping Stones.
Stepping Stones, nice. On my right hand side, what is your name? Jina yako ni nani?
Sean Nyanza.
Sean?
Sean Nyanza.
Sean Nyanza, Sawa kabisa. Sean Nyanza is in uko play groups, ndio? Yes. Sean Nyanza ako play group kwa shule. So today we have guests in the show, so behave. These gentlemen will be one day great farmers in this country of ours. They'll be producing great amount of food, and they'll sustain, this country. Whatever it is that you're watching, you might actually benefit from what they'll do in the next 20 years. Anyway, this is Africa Farming. My name is Samuel. This channel is for new generation farmers and new entrants in farming who are willing to learn new farming practices. So if you're new here, take a second or two to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join the Africa Farming family. For those people who actually subscribed and are part of the Africa Farming family, asanteni sana. Let's keep watching, let's keep supporting, let's keep sharing. Whatever it is that you are, like whatever videos that you watch. If at the end of this video you like the content, make sure that you like this video. You can always connect also with us on our social media handles at Africa Farming KE on TikTok, Instagram and Twitter, and at Africa Farming on YouTube and Facebook. So let's get rolling. Back to the subject of the day. What really is deep litter system of chicken rearing? Deep litter system is where you build a house, create concrete on the floor. Just construct concrete on the floor using ballast, sand and cement. And once you've created the concrete on the floor, you can apply what we call litter. The shavings, you can use wood shavings. There are other materials you can also use, not just wood shavings. You can use leaves from specific trees that can actually form very good litter. All of these are called litter, and that's why it's called deep litter system. Now, this litter is actually placed on the concrete floor just to make chickens comfortable. Remember, this concrete floor is hard. So if you just leave it for chickens will actually be stressed in the long run. This litter is always changed periodically, depending on the number of chickens you have and the amount of litter that is placed on the floor. So if you have a lot of chickens, of course, it might take a shorter period of time to change it. If you have very few chickens, depending on the amount of litter placed on the ground, you might even take longer. In this particular system of rearing chicken, feeders and drinkers are placed in convenient places within the house to enable chickens just reach out and eat if they want to eat, drink water if they want to drink water. Now, apart from just that, laying nests are actually placed in convenient places again, of course away from direct sunlight, where chickens can feel private enough to be able to lay their eggs. Now, apart from just the laying nests, the feeders and the drinkers, we also have patches, because chickens love to rest on patches. So in your deep litter system, you actually place patches within your house, as you can see on your screen. Now, for those people who are rearing day-old chicks to around 4 months old chicks, this system is very, very effective. Another thing to note is that this system is very effective for broiler chickens. For those people who are doing broiler chicken farming, this is the... Hata pia unafanyanga broiler? Unajua broiler ni gani? Sawa. Sean on my left, both of them are Sean's. Sean's. Is there anything like Sean's?
What?
Yeah. So the Sean on my left is actually practicing broiler farming. That's what he's telling us. Sindio? Good job, farmer. Thank you. So for those people who are practicing broiler chicken farming, deep litter system is the best for you, because broiler chickens, if you actually cage them, they might actually grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and they will actually end up even getting heart attacks. So it's always good to have deep litter where they can move freely, at least to grow well, not to be too obese. And also for those people who are doing local kienyeji chicken like I'm doing, this system is very, very, very good, because kienyeji chicken always, multiply very easily. And this system is always good for those people who want to rear large flocks of birds. Some of the reasons why we recommend people to use deep litter system include, number one, this system is actually perfect, as I said, for people who are planning to have large flocks of birds, because when it comes to other methods like the caging system, the battery cage system, if you have a large flock, you'll end up buying a lot of cages, meaning it will be more expensive. So if you want to save on money, deep litter system is good for you, especially when you want large flocks. So the second reason why we recommend people to use the deep litter system is because it's actually cheaper to construct this. In the deep litter system of chicken rearing, you only need to buy litter, in this case wood shavings, which are readily available. So it's somehow cheaper and more affordable, especially for those people who are starting out. The third reason why we recommend people to use the deep litter system, especially for farmers like us who want to do mixed farming, and also even if you're just seriously just doing livestock farming, you can still end up using this as a business. Yes, Toto? You know how to do what? You know how to?
Mixed farming.
You know mixed farming? What is mixed farming? It's planting crops and keeping animals. So what is mixed farming?
Planting crops and keeping animals.
Nice. What is mixed farming? Planting crops and keeping animals. Say planting crops and keeping animals. Sean on the right hand side is shy. But anyway, we'll make sure this shyness is off in a few years. Anyway, yes, for those people who are practicing mixed farming, as Sean on my left has said, you're keeping both animals and planting. You're actually planting crops and keeping the animals. This third reason is good for you because deep litter system ensures that you have quality manure. Now remember, you have litter, and on this litter is where the chickens poop. Chicken manure is very good. Now when they mix with this litter and for a while, it actually creates very good soil, which you can actually mix with the soil that you use in planting, and you will not even need to buy fertilizer. It is perfect manure. For those people who don't practice mixed farming, you can always sell your chicken manure. Previously I bought chicken manure and it's actually more expensive than cow manure or even goat or sheep manure. Now the fourth reason why we recommend people to use deep litter system, as I said, chickens are free to move. They don't have that feeling of being imprisoned. They don't feel stressful, and they end up being healthy. That is a very good reason why you should go with the deep litter system. The fifth reason is that, as I said earlier, most of the materials used in deep litter system are readily available. So you can always go to your nearby hardware and get the materials that you need for this. Very cheap, very affordable, and readily available. So even if you're in your rural area, you can maintain this particular system very easily and very affordably. And lastly, deep litter system is used by almost every farmer. Even farmers who are using the battery caging system, most of them are always practicing the deep litter. So sharing information is easy. So if you find any issue to do with the deep litter system, you can always find information from any farmer around you who's keeping chicken. So the information is readily available. Snukweli, people can share information. Ama? Perfect. Snukweli. So anything that has advantages must have disadvantages, and there are reasons against these. Now the first reason why most people might not prefer deep litter system is that it is labor intensive. You will need to actually, even just putting the litter itself on the ground is work. For you to go and detect what sick birds are there, it is a lot of work, because especially if you have large flock, it will be more labor intensive, right? Secondly, remember, as I told you, litter is like wood shavings or leaves or whatever. So most people use wood shavings, and these wood shavings might actually be costly depending on where you are. So these will add to the cost of production when it comes to your farming business. Another reason why people might feel that this deep litter system is not a good system for them, it kind of encourages wastage of feed. Now, for those people who practice this, you will bear witness with me. When you put those drinkers and the feeders, you'll find that chicken will actually spill most of that feed. So you've seen chicken spill feed here, and also water, isn't it? Yeah. So you'll find that they spill feed. So you end up having wastage of feed because now this feed mixes with the litter, and this litter is where now they poop. So another disadvantage, again, it might actually even spread more diseases compared to other systems. Now, the other reason why people might not prefer this system is the space. When it comes to battery cage system, because the cages are tiered, right? They are tiered and, you know, very, very small compartment units compared to the deep litter where it's just free on the ground. You will need a lot of space to do deep litter system. So if you don't have space in your area, then this would not be a recommended system for you. Another reason why people are discouraged from the deep litter system is that you might not recognize when your chickens are stolen, even by the people, even by your workers. Because if you have a large flock of chickens, it's difficult to identify individual chickens. So in terms of theft, your local guys can actually steal from you and you'll never know. Unless you keep count of like you keep count and say, I left 41 chickens, 70 chickens, then when you come back, you have again. But in terms of the individual chickens, it's difficult to keep stock of that. And this leads us to another issue, is that it's difficult to document individual chickens' history. So if, for example, you've done your vaccinations, and let's say there are other chickens that have come in that were not vaccinated and they are mixed with these others, it's difficult to document all these for the individual chickens. Another reason against deep litter system is disease outbreak. Whenever there is any disease outbreak, it actually spreads faster as compared to the battery cage system. This is because, as I've told you, chickens are actually together. So if one chicken gets sick, the rest, chances of them getting sick is very, very high. Additionally, it's difficult to detect unproductive birds as compared to the battery cage system. Now, one thing about deep litter is that most chickens will share laying nests. So it's difficult to know which bird is laying and which one is not laying. Another thing, it's also difficult to prevent cannibalism and egg pecking, because the laying nests are there, chickens live together. So in case you don't feed your chickens well, you'll end up finding that most of your chickens are eating each other, right? So they'll have what we call, they'll be cannibalistic, if there is any word like that. And for those that are laying, you'll find them, you know, pecking the eggs that they are laying. So last but not least, if not well controlled, like for example, for me, I practice semi-free range. It's not completely free range, semi-free range. So part of their food they get from the house through the deep litter system, part of it they get outside. So sometimes these chickens will come back inside with fleas, lice and mites. So you have to be very careful, because the litter that you put, especially wood shavings, are perfect grounds for, you know, multiplication of fleas, lice and mites. So you have to be very careful by, you know, inspecting your chickens regularly to see if they have mites. Otherwise, that's it for us today. As I've told you, there are more demerits for people using the deep litter system, but if you can actually work towards, you know, reducing the number of demerits like we've done here at Africa Farming, the deep litter system might actually be the best method for you. For us, that is why we practice it, because it's affordable for us and we maximize profits based on it. Next time, we'll actually be discussing the battery cage system, and I hope you'll join us in that particular episode. Thank you for the feedback that we've always gotten from you in our social media handles, of course, at Africa Farming KE on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, at Africa Farming on Facebook and YouTube. Hope to see you in the next video, and until next time, changamka na ukulima. Bye bye bye. Ambia watu bye.
Bye.
Ambia bye. Tuonane next time.